Good morning, everyone. It is a damp morning here in Sidman, Pennsylvania, but that's okay. The temperature this afternoon is supposed to reach nearly 70 degrees. Can you believe that? The end of October? My goodness, it's an amazing day today. Party day, early dismissal day, and the best part of all is it's Halloween parade day. I'm Kim Hostetler, and I will again be your host for this spooktacular event. I have to say, as you can see, it's taking place at the G.H. Miller Stadium, as we've done in the past few years, and it is the 20th year in a row that we have broadcast this special event. And I say it every year that it is the most watched event on our Forest Hills channel 182 and on our Forest Hills YouTube channel. And it's all because of the kiddos. So I thank you for joining us today. So sit back, grab your favorite witch's brew, and enjoy the show. Now, joining me right now is Mrs. Kristen Wilson. I'm going to slide over here a little bit. Kristen is the principal at the elementary school, and actually, this is her very first year as the principal. But I remember, Kristen, just only a few years ago when you were a student of mine when I taught third grade, just a few years ago.
Just a few.
Yes, and now here she is, the principal at the elementary school. So what do you think? We absolutely love her, by the way. Love her. And I'm sure she is ready to tell us about the little goblins and ghouls that are so excited for this event today.
Yes, thank you so much. I am so excited to be here. I love Halloween, but especially here at Forest Hills. Like you said, in third grade, I remember you dressing up as a cave woman with your bone and shaking. And
That's
it was
true.
it was such an experience that I have always remembered. And so it's teachers like you and the rest of us here at Forest Hills that make this a special place for our kiddos. They're so excited. They have been showing off their costumes from the bus stop all morning long. And I'm happy to see as we're filling up the stands here that we have so many parents here.
Yes.
And I'm just really looking forward to another successful parade where we get to see just a lot of fun stuff with the kids and all the crafts and their songs that we get to see with them each year.
Exactly. Oh, it's so nice. Thank you so much. That's
so
really
much.
sweet of you. And like you said, we always have wonderful community support. I know people take day off work and everything to come to the parade, so it is greatly appreciated. We love you, Forest Hills community. So what do you think? Should we get the show on the road?
Let's kick this thing off.
All right, here we go. The Forest Hills Marching Rangers, under the direction of Mr. Mitch Kuster and our very own Mr. Jake Kearney, were gracious enough to join us today for the parade. Now, they will be leading the students in. As a matter of fact, I see them coming around the corner right now. They're going to play as long as they can, but they'll have to bow out a little early because it's an early dismissal day today, and those students need to catch their buses. So we'll be listening to them throughout the parade. Now, as we've done in the past, I'd like to show you some footage of our afternoon pre-K classes. We have two sessions, the morning and the afternoon, and since we are recording this in the morning, we wanted to show you a little bit of the cuties from Mrs. Stifler's and Mrs. Mangus's afternoon classes. So let's take a look at the mini parade that was held yesterday.
There's a scary pumpkin in the dark dusk, and the moon is turning
just as promised, there's our Forest Hills Marching Rangers and our very own mascot with his handlers. Oh, and I can see right behind them, here are Mrs. Kristen Wilson and Mr. Chris Evans, our principal and assistant principal, leading off the parade. And look at them as Mario and Luigi. Now, just as they go by, I have to tell you a little bit about my visit to our pre-K classes. They must have been learning an awful lot about spiders lately. So as soon as we get an opportunity here, I'm going to show you just a little peek inside their classrooms. They were making spider webs out of spaghetti, which was so exciting.
There's a spider on the floor, on the floor. There's a spider on the floor, on the floor. There's a spider on the floor. Who could ask for anything more? There's a spider on the floor, on the floor. Now the spider's on my leg, on my leg. Now the spider's on my leg, on my leg. Now the spider's on my leg, and he's really, really big. Now the spider's on my leg, on my leg. Now the spider's on my chest, on my chest. Now the spider's on my chest, on my chest. Now the spider's on my chest, and it's really not the best. Now the spider's on my chest, on my chest. Now the spider's on my neck, on my neck. Now the spider's on my neck, on my neck. Now the spider's on my neck. Oh, I'm gonna be a wreck. Now the spider's on my neck, on my neck. Now the spider's on my face, on my face. Now the spider's on my face, on my face. Now the spider's on my face. Oh, what a big disgrace. Now the spider's on my face, on my face. Now the spider's on my head, on my head. Now the spider's on my head, on my head. Now the spider's on my head. I wish I was home in bed. Now the spider's on my head, on my head. But he jumped off. Now there's a spider on the floor, on the floor. There's a spider on the floor, on the floor. There's a spider on the floor. I think I'll show him the door. There's a spider on the floor, on the floor.
Now, as our pre-K classes come around, thought we'd give you an opportunity so you can check out some of the crafts that Mrs. Stifler's and Mrs. Mangus's classes made. We'll take a look at these. So first of all, they made this little like spider witch. This is from, I believe, Mrs. Stifler's class, right? Yes, Mrs. Stifler's class. I have Mrs. Jan Yursky here helping me. She is my handler today. She does an awesome job. Second year in a row. She is a professional, let me tell you. And this is another spider. How cute is that? From kindergarten, Mrs. Stifler's class. And we also have from Mrs. Mangus's class another spider witch and spider. Beautiful. And here are our marching rangers. Here's Mr. Uhas, the drum major. Now, once our marching rangers go by, and also our pre-K classes go by, we would like to share with you some video of the students making those spider webs out of spaghetti. Let me tell you, it was quite interesting. They were playing in that spaghetti and making spider webs. And then sooner or later, someone figured out that, oh, yeah, this really is spaghetti, and maybe we should eat it. Oh, it was so much fun. So much fun. Oh, look at Mrs. Wilson and Mr. Evans. I do believe Mrs. Wilson made their costumes. She's a very crafty one, I must say. And they're both great sports. Look at that. Hello. We will be speaking with Mr. Evans a little bit later on. He will close out our parade for us. And it looks like we have Mrs. Stifler's pre-K class coming first. She's getting everybody ready to roll here. If you'll notice, each of the classrooms have a class sign. That is so that the parents in the community are able to see whose class is coming up next, and also for us as well. They are so excited. This is their very first Halloween parade here at the elementary school. I cannot even imagine how exciting this is for them. Look at those costumes. I, again, say this every year. Parents, you do an awesome, awesome job. Oh, look at that. Viking. How cool. Riding a dragon. Yes, parents, you do a fabulous, fabulous job with these costumes. The time and the money that you put into them are just amazing. I'm hoping you can hear the band playing in the background here. They sound wonderful. And I see Mrs. Mangus's pre-K. Ah, lots of Luigis I see. They look adorable. Look at those little ones. Oh, look at the Major League costume. That's pretty cool. I bet you we see a lot of Barbie costumes today, too. I'm curious to see. All right. And it looks like we have our first kindergarten class is coming up. Now, I know that says Mrs. Shope's kindergarten class. However, Mrs. Shope is out right now, and that is Mrs. Nada, who is the substitute for Mrs. Shope. And as her children go by, we're going to take just a moment and show you the craft that they made. I do believe all of the kindergarten classes read Spookly the Square Pumpkin, so you're going to see quite a few of the Spooklys that the children made. Oh, look at the spaceship. How cute. That's awesome. And it's perfect. Perfect for today in case it was going to rain. All right, let's take a look at this craft that Mrs. Nada or / Mrs. Shope's class made. Fantastic job, spookily. And next we have Buzz Lightyear's classroom. Oh, I'm sorry, not Buzz Lightyear. That would be Mrs. Ann Carpenter's kindergarten class. I wish you could hear all the little ones. They're all saying, hello, hello. They're waving away. It's so cute. I don't think we can pick them up on the mic, but oh, look at the Hulk. My goodness. Now, as Mrs. Carpenter's classroom goes by, I'd also like to show you some Spooklys that they made. And we also have some photos of her students making Spookly. So let's check these out. Two of them. Two Spooklys. Looks like Dean and Sienna made them. Beautiful job, kiddos. Little Bo Peep's Peeps classroom is next. That would be Mrs. Caitlin Young. I spent some time in her classroom as well. She had some stations set up around the room. One of them, she had some parents coming in. They were helping the children to carve pumpkins. They were painting pumpkins. They were also making creating the little spookly, the square pumpkin. And Mrs. Young's student teacher, Miss Hughes, had a group of students in the corner talking to them about the life cycle of a spider. And the students made a spider web and a spider out of pipe cleaners. So once her children go by, we're going to show those as well. Oh, lots of hulks. Oh, look, they are little sheep. And the Polar Express, how adorable. I love it. That was so cute. So these are some of the crafts from Mrs. Young's room. Rory made this. Yes, my pumpkin is short. And we've got the spider web and the spider. Great job. All right, looks like Mrs. Klein's kindergarten classroom is next. Whoa, those are some cool costumes. Look at that white. Is that the abominable snowman? Wow, that's really cool. Lots of Avengers too. Mrs. Klein's class was busy making Spookly as well. I'm going to share one of those, as well as some photos that she sent me of her children creating Spookly. And here it is. Daisy made this Spookly. I have to read that book. Did anyone ever read that book? I haven't read it. Must be a good one, though. And it looks like Mrs. Ray is up next. Love her little tutu there. Now, Mrs. Ray's students made some shape monsters. And they also painted some pumpkins. So once this crew goes through, we're going to show you those shape monsters and some photos of her students painting pumpkins. Okay, this is our first one. Created by Logan. A nice triangle. And Brielle, ooh, fancy writing, Brielle. On the back, made this nice little square monster. And let's check out those photos. And I see Miss Aubrey Chris' classroom coming up. She looks so nice with her Woody costume on. Her class was very busy as well. Once they go by, I'm going to show you a few crafts. Oh, look at is that a dragonfly? That is so cute. Or a butterfly? Adorable. Baby doctor. It is amazing, the crowd. Oh my goodness, look at this cow coming up. Oh, that is great. I love it. They're so cute. All right, and here are the crafts that they made. It's a cute little bat. This pumpkin that says, "My pumpkin is spooky." And another one, a pumpkin is round and orange. Yes, it is Cammie. Beautiful job. And rounding out the kindergarten classes, I see Mr. Ron Kuhlback. Ron is an alien as well, yes. Go Ron. He does such a fabulous job. I must say that every year he decorates the display case that is across from the elementary office, and it looks absolutely beautiful. And actually, you'll see some of those creations that his students made that are in that showcase. We have some crafts to share with you and some photos that Mr. Kuhlback took of his students carving pumpkins, a pumpkin into a jack-o'-lantern. And we also have a video of his students singing 3 different Halloween songs: jack-o'-lantern, a Halloween song, and also 5 little pumpkins. So here are some of the crafts that his students made. Look at this. It's a 3D pumpkin. Can you see that? A 3D pumpkin, as well as the spider that sits on top of... Wait. I'll try to get this... Spider, can you see its face? There we go. And Aubrey did that one. Ooh, I'm sorry, Jan. And here's a shorter pumpkin. There we go. We can see a nice, cute little face on that spider. Look out. Great job, Mr. Kuhlback's class. All right. We are ready for, oh my goodness, 3rd grade. I'm sorry. I have to gather myself. Check out Mr. Justin Myers. That's our football coach there, guys. He looks awesome in his Flintstone costume. I love it. Now, wow, he has a small class. We do have some photos to share with you of Mr. Myers' kiddos and the ghosts that they made out of their hands. So let's take a look at that. And next we have Mrs. Moose. She is a new teacher at the elementary school. Oh, look at that spooky clown. Jeez, that's something that nightmares are made of. That is for sure. Now, once they're done parading by, we'd like to share with you some photos that I took whenever they were creating their candy corn craft. And it looks like Mrs. Byer and her classroom is coming up. Oh my, look at that hairy thing. What is that? Wowee. Oh, there's a Barbie. Oh my goodness. Look at him doing the gritty. Oh, they're doing the gritty. Here we go. Love it. They're all doing the gritty. So as they go by, I'd like to share with you a photo that Mrs. Byer sent me of her class and their zombie puppets that they made. And next we have Mrs. Vescovi's third grade classroom. This week, as it is every year, was Red Ribbon Week, and each day the students got to dress up and take a stand against drugs. So it wasn't just the students, but also the teachers. We wore red one day, we had a hat day, we had comfy cozy day, and it was a great time throughout the week. All gearing up to this special day right here. And there's Mrs. Madeira and some of her students. Ooh, that's a spooky one. Wowee. Oh, I love the watermelon. That's adorable. The alien. Oh, check out these skeletons holding Mrs. Baker's flag banner. Not a flag. Those look great. Well, we've got some spooky skeletons all together there. Now, as their class goes by, I'd like to share with you a photo that Mrs. Baker sent me. Actually, a few photos of her students and the spider webs and spiders that they made. And they actually gave me some here. So once they go by, oh, look at that cute cow. Very nice. So they created this really cute spider web out, look at that, out of pipe cleaners. That's pretty neat. And also, look at this adorable spider. Wait, let me get the face going on here. There we go. How cute is that? This spider was very busy creating all those webs. Pretty neat. Oh, look at that costume. There's no face. That is really, really cool. Wow. Impressive. This would be Mrs. Tracy Howell's classroom. And she was very, very busy in her classroom. I was in her classroom several times this week, taking photos and some videos. So we have all kinds of things to share that she did. We have, first of all, videos of her students carving their styrofoam pumpkins, and I actually have one of those here with me today. We also have photos of some finished products of the styrofoam pumpkins and them creating a variety of monsters in their classroom. And I have one of those monsters here as well. So here's the styrofoam pumpkin that they created. You can see the little tea light in there. Wow, Jan, you're on the ball. You even got that tea light going. She's really good. And this is one of the monsters. They had, if I recall, bats, and this is a werewolf and a Dracula and a Frankenstein. Caitlin did a beautiful job. They made these monsters, and then they also wrote poems about them. So fantastic work there, Mrs. Howe's class.
Pumpkins marching one by one, marching to the beat. Pumpkins bobbing up and down, they're marching in the street. Look! They're marching, marching in your neighborhood. Yikes! They're marching, marching just like pumpkins should. Pumpkins marching down the road, marching from the patch to the store. They march and wait in time for you to catch. Look! They're marching, marching in your neighborhood. Yikes! They're marching, marching just like pumpkins should. Look! They're marching, marching. Look! They're marching, marching. Look! They're marching, marching. Boo!
And I believe that's the end of 3rd grade. I see 4th grade, and Mrs. Markham's monsters are coming up here. And wow, they are all bees. How cool is that? That's pretty neat. Love those, their eyeballs. Look at their eyeballs. I bet you that'll give them a big old headache by the end of the parade. Wowee. So Mrs. Markham's class made some paper plate spider webs and spiders. And also Mrs. Jones' class, they both did this together. And you'll see that with 4th grade, some of the team teachers, they created the same craft. As a matter of fact, in between some of their classroom, they opened up the wall and were able to do this all together, which was pretty cool. So these are some of the spider webs and spiders that were made in Mrs. Markham's and Mrs. Autumn Jones' classrooms. So one was done by Paige and Leo and Chase. Great job, kiddos. And speaking of Mrs. Jones' class, here they come, the Boo Crew. That is one spooky clown there. I don't know. I don't know about you, but I'm not a clown person. Anything scary. I love Halloween, but anything scary, I can't do it. Oh, another gritty. We got the gritty going on. I love it. Oh, look at these beautiful. Look at the ballerina. How cute. Oh, they're doing it. They're doing it. They're doing a gritty. There they go. All right. Oh, and there's Mr. Charlton. He is the beekeeper. Nice. I love that. Looks like Miss Podiak's monsters are coming up. Oh, I see some dinosaurs. Some aliens. This is awesome. Cruella de Vil. I'm telling you what, parents, you do an awesome job. Now, Miss Podiak and Mr. Piccola's classroom, this was one of the classrooms I had mentioned that they actually took the wall between their two classrooms and opened it up, which is a really neat feature that our elementary school has in certain rooms. And they spent one afternoon creating haunted houses. Now, let me tell you, these haunted houses go way back, because when my daughter was in Miss Podiak's room many, many years ago, she made a haunted house, and I still have it. So this is one of the haunted houses. This was done by Anna Epley. Nice job, Anna. We got a few. I have two from each of their classrooms. This is Hank Biters. Beautiful work. There are some spooky ones. We've got Colton. Colton Miller did this one. And thank you, Officer Fatula is over here, our new SRO. Whoops, wrong way. Here we go. Katie and McCloskey did this one. So these were done by Ms. Podiak's and Mr. Piccola's classroom. We also have some photos to share with you. After Mr. Piccola's classroom goes by, it looks like he is another beekeeper. Got to keep those bees in line. Oh, there's a Wednesday costume. Pretty cool. Oh, that's a spooky one too. That one with those long fingers. My goodness. All right, let's take a look at some of those photos then, once they go by. They had a great time creating those haunted houses. Let's take a look. Next up, again, Mrs. Leach. She is a new teacher here. She team teaches with Mrs. Dawn McCall, who will be after her. And these two, again, created the same type of craft. One of those crafts, I'll tell you a little bit about it before we show you. Mrs. Leach's classroom created a monster in my closet craft, where the students all week were describing and writing a creative story about a monster, and then constructing a craft of the actual monster in the closet that depicts their descriptive writing. And then Mrs. Dawn McCall's classroom, they created these little creatures, bats and Frankensteins, all kinds of mummies out of toilet paper rolls. So don't throw your toilet paper rolls away. Look, you can do all kinds of fun things with them. There are 2 of those. And this is, see, the monster in my closet. Macy did this. Here's the monster that she created. Look at that spooky thing. And then they wrote about it. Pretty neat. So not only are they having fun, but they are learning. These are from Mrs. McCall's classroom. Oh, here we go. These are from Mrs. McCall's classroom. And then their monster in the closet. That, I don't know. I think I'd rather have this monster in my closet than that last one. What do you think? Claire Schrift did this one. Great job. There's Mrs. McCall and her crew. Oh, the chicken is so cute. Oh, we've got 2 chickens. Ooh, and a spooky nun. Wowee. My goodness. I actually think that was the end of 4th grade. We're a little bit out of order, and that's just because of our lunch schedule, so that whoever eats lunch first can parade around and go in and grab their Ranger sub.
A perfectly logical explanation. No biggie.
If you were me, what would you do? What would you? If you heard a squeak, what would you? If you heard a moan, what would you? I'm asking you, what would you do? What would you do?
I wouldn't panic. I'm sure it's nothing. No cause for alarm.
If you were me, what would you do? What would you? If you heard a howl, what would you? If you heard a squeak, what would you? If you heard a moan, what would you? I'm asking you, what would you do? What would you do?
Oh, that's probably just...
I hope all of you remember your Ranger subs, those of you who are alumni of Forest Hills. You can't beat it. Nothing like the Ranger sub. All right, so it looks like our 1st grade students are coming out now. Oh my gosh, wait. We love Ranger subs. She is a Ranger sub. Was that a perfect transition or what? Thank you there, Mrs. Myers. That's Mrs. Kelly Myers and her crew. Ooh, look at that gargoyle. That's pretty cool. Ooh, spooky. Spooky. Wow, we've got all... Oh, another spooky one. So as Mrs. Myers' classroom goes by, she is the first of the 1st grade classes. We have a video of her class singing Old, Old Witch, and they did a beautiful job. So let's take a look at that.
Dog the window pane and ran. She ran up the shelter with her toes in the air. Corn stalks flying from the old witch's hair.
Oh, look at Jack Skellington. And I love those little, look at the boo. If you'll notice, those little ghosts on the sign has each of their, the kiddos' little faces. That's adorable. This is Mrs. Yakichik's classroom. I have a photo that I'd like to share with you when her class goes by, and it is of her students. They actually created a really cute craft. You'll see it in just a moment, and it says, I have a skeleton of love for, and then they had to fill in the blank. So when they go by, I'll show you one of these, and then we'll take a look at the photo of her class holding them. So this says, I have a skeleton of love for Blaken because she is so nice and she's my friend. Oh, that's so cute. Dominic did this. Adorable. And next up, I see Mrs. Jennifer Miller's little monsters are coming by. Now, I know that's not Mrs. Miller holding the sign. Mrs. Miller is behind in the orange shirt. But boy, that's a spooky little costume right there on the left-hand side. My goodness. There's Mrs. Miller. Oh, and a dancing witch. Nothing better than a dancing witch. Yes, yes, yes. And another spooky clown. I'm telling you, I'm going to have nightmares tonight. My goodness. Now, Mrs. Miller's classroom was very busy as well. They had a creepy day, or maybe even a creepy week. They read 3 books. One of them is Creepy Carrots. We've got Creepy Crayons. This is the best of all. Creepy pair of underwear. Craziness. And then they made little crafts that go with each one of them. So this one is, let's see here. Here's the creepy carrots. And look, the carrots come out. Here's our creepy crayon. Sorry, we have little Jacob's name on top of this. Oh, this is Jacob Wansey made this. I know his dad, Andy. And then we have Christopher Uhas. There's his. I'm just curious. If I had a creepy underwear, I would scare my 4-year-old sister. You'd scare me there, Christopher. Holy man, that's too funny. Love it. That sounds like a fun time. We also have some video of Mrs. Miller's classroom. They are carving pumpkins, and I also have some photos to share with you. So let's take a look at those. Oh, and speaking of creepy, here is Mrs. Ken's creepy carrot patch. Looks like she was the lettuce to the Ranger sub. We've got some, is that a Scream costumes, I believe? Those long skull things. And what is that green thing? Oh, how cute is that? That's so cute. I love it. I'm not quite sure. That was like is that like a caterpillar? That was really cute. So Mrs. Ken also has some crafts to share with you. She did some really neat things, and we also have some video. I took some video of her students carving some pumpkins into jack-o'-lanterns. Now she did, look at this. How cute is that? Erica made this. That's a really cool craft, and then they wrote about it. I think there's something like Frankenstein. I get cranky when my mom doesn't let me go to bed early. Well, I'm so sorry, honey. That's how moms are, right? And then she did this, which is really cool. Weston made this Q-tip skeleton. My skeleton's name is Bob. He's flexing. Check that out. Bob is flexing. And then check out this really cool craft. Let me see which way it goes. Okay, so can you see this? I have to go back up a little bit. The spider crawls up the web. The things they think of. That's pretty cool. So let's check out some video and some photos of Mrs. Ken's classroom carving pumpkins.
This pumpkin from the pumpkin patch has a light inside lit from a match. Well, it glows in front and glows in back. This pumpkin's name is Pumpkin Jack. He howls like a wolf, yells like a cat, creaks like a door, squeaks like a bat, hoots like an owl, growls like a bear. Pumpkin Jack will give a scare. This pumpkin is a little strange, making different sounds just for a change. With a face in front and one in back, there is no other Pumpkin Jack. He howls like a wolf, yells like a cat, creaks like a dog, squeaks like a bat, hoots like an owl, growls like a bear. Pumpkin Jack will give a scare. He howls like a wolf, yells like a cat.
And next we have Mrs. Clausmo's classroom. It looks like they are sweeter than candy corn. Her classroom was really busy too. They have all kinds of crafts to share with you. She's telling them to turn. There we go. They're so busy looking at everybody and waving. I love it. Now, when they go by, I'm going to show you some spooky monster head crafts that include some of our favorite Halloween characters. Oh, there's Harry Potter. Love Harry Potter. Love, love, love. Let's check out some of these spooky crafts. We've got a cute little bat, a jack-o'-lantern, some of our Halloween favorites, a cute little black cat. We have a skull and Frankenstein. And two more, a ghost and a witch that they made. Beautiful job, Mrs. Clausmo's kids.
Well, I saw the thing coming out of the sky. It had a one long horn and one big eye. I commenced to shaking and I said, ooh-wee. It looks like a purple people eater to me. It was a one-eyed, one-horn flying purple people eater.
One-eyed, one-horn flying purple people eater.
A one-eyed, one-horn flying purple people eater.
And I see Mrs. Bahorik's class is next. And it looks like she's the pickle. And we've got TJ Watt and Kenny Pickett in our presence as well. Go Steelers! I love it. Oh, there's from Hop. That's pretty cool with the fox and the bunny. It's always so nice when the kiddos can look out in the crowd and spot their family or parents. Oh, look at Belle, how beautiful she looks. My goodness. And we've seen a lot of police officers here today. Look at him, he's in his car. I love it. Mrs. Bahorik has some crafts as well. She has this. I think they read the story, The Halloweener. And they made this, as well as some other really cool things. This ghost was done by McKenna. And this crescent moon, how pretty is that? Really beautiful. They also made a Q-tip skeleton, and then they wrote about it. This is Skelly. This was done by Paisley. Pretty neat. Beautiful job. I also have some photos and videos of Mrs. Bahorik's class making the Halloween crafts and also carving pumpkins. She had some wonderful helpers and parents coming into our classroom, as did many others. So we appreciate you, parents. Let's take a look at those.
From my laboratory, past the leash, past the bedroom where the vampires meet. Ghouls all came from their humble abode to get a joke of my electrode. He's in the mash, he's in the monster mash, and it's a graveyard smash. They caught on in a flash. He's in the monster mash. Zombies were having fun. Party had just begun. Guests included the Wolfman, Dracula, and his son. The scene was rocking over digging sound. Igor chained back by his many pounds. Club and daggers were about to arrive. Vocal room, the cryptic divide. They did the mash, they did the monster mash. The monster mash, and it's a graveyard smash. They cut on in a flash. They did the monster mash. Everything's cool, that's a part of the band. Monster Mash, hit in the land. You the living, as mass as they do with my door, tell them only, sir. And then you can Monster Mash, and it's a graveyard smash. They cut on in a flash. Then you can Monster Mash. Whoa. Monster Mash. Monster Mash. Oh, Monster Mash!
And our final first grade class is Mrs. Kreis's beautiful first graders. You can see that sign with the kiddos' heads. I love that. Oh, there's my buddy Jackson. He is a cute little fireman today. I love it. Oh, there's Woody and Buzz. Oh my gosh, how adorable is that? That's precious. Some more Harry Potters and Kenny Pickett's. And when Mrs. Kreis's class is done going by, I have a video to share of her students reciting the poem Listen. It's really, really a neat poem. They also made some crafts, so we'll look at that video in just a moment, but they made this spider and the spider web and also a really pretty fall leaf. It looks like it was done like with sponges. Viviana Myers made this one. Beautiful job, kiddos.
Listen, listen, goblins are there. Hear them tiptoe to your chair. Don't speak a word, don't go achoo. Don't move about or they'll get you.
Now, all of the second graders, they did a really, really neat project, and I believe it's the second year for this project. They chose a character from a favorite book, and then they had to decorate a pumpkin to look like that character. In addition, each child had to do a writing activity to go with that pumpkin that they created. And, pardon me, I'm losing my voice. As a culminating activity, they had a pumpkin parade so the students could show off all of their creativity. So we are going to take a look at that once, I believe. Did I miss Mrs. Summit's? She just went by, I believe. Was that Mrs. Summit's class? Yes, this is Mrs. Summit's class going by right now. Beautiful. Now, Mrs. Summit's, they have their own crafts and photos to show you. So let me take a moment once they go by. Let me grab a drink of tea before I lose my voice. So here are some of the crafts that Mrs. Summit's class did. This was done by Grace. Really cute things, let me tell you. Look at that spider in the web. They were busy, busy, busy as well. So they also did some haunted houses where you could open up these windows with math facts, and another one dealing with math. Mrs. Summit's also, I have some photos to share with you of her class creating some of the pumpkins that they did to go with their character. Oh, one more craft by Mrs. Summit's room. As I said, they were really busy. This is really nice, Cameron. Good job, Mrs. Summit's room. And it looks like Mrs. Gordon is coming our way, her second grade ghouls. Great costumes. Now, as I had mentioned before, after each classroom passes by, we're going to show you a photo of the class with the pumpkins that they created. And then we will show you some footage of the pumpkin parade so that you can see up close some of the pumpkins that the students created. They did an awesome, awesome job with this project. So once Mrs. Gordon's class goes by, let's take a look at their class photo of their pumpkins that they created. And next we have Mrs. Daly's classroom. I love it whenever the pods have themes. It looks like second grade is all dressed up as gnomes. When they're done going by, we have a photo, of course, their photo of their class with the pumpkins they created, and I also have 2 crafts to share with you. These are really, really neat. They are skull sun catchers. Now check this out. They look so neat, even in this light. Beautiful job. Very colorful. And pretty skulls, I must say. And next we have Mrs. Baylog's class, the C6 family. I don't think that's Mrs. Baylog, though. Let's see if she's there, or maybe she wasn't able to make it today. Oh, there she is. She was back in the back there. Look how cute. Oh, they are adorable. They also have some crafts to share with you. They made this really cute pumpkin, and they were painting as well. Looks like they were doing some things with sponges. And finally, I'm tired of being a ghost this year. I want to be a Stitch. Let's also take a look at her classroom with their pumpkins. Oh, and here comes the Black Panthers of Mrs. Shilkowski's class. They look great. Love that movie. Oh, and look at Wednesday Addams. Oh, and she's got the hand on her shoulder. Ah, that's really cool. And let's take a look at their class photo with their pumpkins. All right. And here are some of the crafts that Mrs. Shokowski's class made. Looks like Wyatt did this, which is spookier. And also we've got a scarecrow. And it looks like they did some research on spiders as well. So as you can see, we have a fun time, but we're all still learning. And next we have Mrs. Bakota's classroom. Now, Mrs. Bakota, their class did a spider fact and opinion craft. And they did an addition fall tree picture. And they did a writing that started with, if I could spend an autumn day with Mudge. Now, Mudge must be a character from a book, I'm assuming. So once they go by, I'm going to show you those crafts as well as the class photo of the kiddos and their pumpkins that they created. Oh, look at the little twins. Jeffy. Oh, my goodness. Check out these crafts. This is the one about Mudge. If I could spend an autumn day with Mudge. We've got the fall tree with math. And finally, again, the more information and research about spiders, a fact and an opinion. Spit it out there, Kim. Yeah, I don't like most spiders. That's what she says. I'd take a snake over a spider any day, let me tell you. And finally, oh, you can see it must be coming to an end because when I just saw my shot there was no one behind me. Oh, our last second grade classroom is Mrs. Ashlyn Mazers. She is new to the elementary as well. I was just speaking to, in between, well, I really guess I wasn't speaking to him because I can't speak, and I was motioning to our new SRO officer, our Mr. Fatula, and he said, wow, I never knew that this parade was this big and so many people came out. It was his first Halloween parade as well. So let me show you a photo of Mrs. Mazer's classroom with their pumpkins. And we'll follow that up with a video of the pumpkin parade.
Pumpkins marching one by one, marching to the beat. Pumpkins bobbing up and down, they're marching in the street. Look! They're marching marching, marching.
Pumpkin, pumpkin, let's give you some ice. Pumpkin, pumpkin, let's give you a nose. Pumpkin, pumpkin, let's give you a scary smile. And now you're a jack-o'-lantern. The ghosts and the ghouls and the witches, they will run a mile when they see my scary smile. So put me in the window and I'll chase the night away, because I am a jack-o'-lantern. I am a jack-o'-lantern. I am a jack-o'-lantern. Happy Halloween.
Jack-o'-lantern, jack-o'-lantern, shining bright, perched on the porch on Halloween night. I see you and greet you every year. October 31st is finally here. Jack-o'-lantern, shining bright, perched on the porch on Halloween night. I see you and greet you every year. October 31st is finally here. Jack-o'-lantern, shining bright, perched on the porch on Halloween night. Trick or treat down the street, having lots of fun. Jack-o'-lantern, shine for everyone. Jack-o'-lantern, shining bright, perched on the porch on Halloween night. Trick or treat down the street, having lots of fun. Jack-o'-lantern, shine for everyone.
If you like autumn, put your hands in the air. If you like autumn, put your hands in the air. If you like
like we have 6th grade coming out. I see Mrs. Bolvin's class. Our little goblins and ghouls are getting bigger. This is their very last Halloween parade for them. As a mom, that makes me sad, even though mine have been out of school for quite some time. Ooh, that's a spooky one there. Now, as they do each and every year, Mrs. Jenna Tully and Mr. Jake Kearney take all of the 6th graders, those who want to participate, and they are going to be performing in a video that she created. This year, it's going to be Monster Mash. So at some point here in between all of these 6th grade classes, we'll take a little break and we'll check out Monster Mash. I believe this is Mrs. May's classroom. The parade tends to move a little quicker now because they usually don't have the crafts that the little ones have. Wow, check out that dinosaur and the bacon. Oh my goodness. Here comes the dinosaur and bacon. God bless that little one. Oh, I love it. And here is Mr. Stone's classroom. A cute little cat there. It's so funny just looking at the teachers who are standing around the edge and they're all waving to try to get the students to wave. It is so funny. We got a group of mimes over here. We've got Dr. Dill waving. I love it. Next up. Oh, catch up to your line there, crew. Looks like 6th grade is also going with the theme of the deck of cards. And next up, we have Mrs. Megan Bodie. Oh, I see a shark coming. Land shark. That is a really cool costume, I must say. Look at that. Wow, that's impressive. Very nice. Spooky scarecrow there, too. Kiddos are dancing to the music that the marching rangers are providing. And there is, I think, is that Mrs. Brezovic or is that Mr. Brezovic? I'm not really sure. I see him wearing that wig from time to time, just on an everyday basis. So you just never know what you're going to get with Mr. Brezovic, you know, or Mrs. Brezovic. Hi, Mrs. Brezovic. Oh, check out the banana. Pretty neat. I'm going to take just a moment to share with you some things that my kiddos did in my classroom. So I broke my students down into 2 different groups, and they created, or they researched bats and spiders. And they worked together to research those 2 critters, Halloween critters, and then they created them. So I'd like to share those with you. Here we are. Here's one of my students that made a spider, and the other a bat. And then they also did some creative writing. I am all about the creative writing, so we have one here. I thought this was pretty cool with the hairy werewolf, the Halloween nightmare, and then this is like an 8-page story here about the evil pumpkin patch. So we had a great time in our classroom as well, doing all kinds of Halloween activities. And finally, our very last grade is 5th grade. Oh no, this is not 5th grade. I apologize. This is our last class. In 6th grade, this is Mrs. Stopgo's class, and this is her very first Halloween parade here as a teacher. That alien abduction costume's pretty cool. These inflatables are awesome. I just love them. Oh, there's Snoopy. Oh, love it. Hi, sweetie. Hi, guys.
For my monster from his slab began to rise, and suddenly, to my surprise,
He did the mash.
He did the monster mash.
The monster mash.
It was a graveyard smash.
He did the mash.
It caught on in a flash.
He did the mash.
He did the monster mash. From my laboratory in the castle east to the master bedroom where the vampires feast, the ghouls all came from their humble abode to get a jolt from my electrode.
They did the mash.
They did the monster mash.
The monster mash.
It was a graveyard smash.
They did the mash.
It caught on in a flash.
They did the mash.
They did the monster mash. The zombies were having fun. The party had just begun. The guests included Wolfman, Dracula, and his son. The scene was rocking, all were digging the sounds. Igor on chains, backed by his baying hounds. The coffin bangers were about to arrive with their vocal group, the Crypt Kicker Five.
They played the mash.
They played the monster mash.
The monster mash.
It was a graveyard smash.
They played the mash.
It caught on in a flash.
They played the mash.
They played the monster mash. Out from his coffin, Drac's voice did ring. Seemed he was troubled by just one thing. Opened the lid and shook his fist and said, "Whatever happened to my Transylvania twist?"
It's now the mash.
It's now the monster mash.
The monster mash.
And it's a graveyard smash.
It's now the mash.
It's caught on in a flash.
It's now the mash.
It's now the monster mash. Now everything's cool, Drac's a part of the band, and my monster mash is the hit of the land. For you, the living, this mash was meant to. When you get to my door, tell them God is sent.
Then you can mash.
Then you can monster mash.
The monster mash.
And do my graveyard smash.
Then you can mash.
You'll catch on in a flash.
Then you can mash.
Then you can monster mash.
Monster mash.
You in?
Monster mash.
Mash.
Monster mash. Monster mash. Monster mash.
All right, and I see Mrs. Gibson's class. This is now the first of the 5th grade, and this is our last grade that's coming through. Now, each of the 5th grade classrooms did a craft, and after each one of their classrooms go by, I will take a moment to share with you the photo that I took of them and their craft. Oh, some more gritty going on there. Well, check out that pizza. Pretty cool. Making me hungry. And you know, there's another Barbie costume. I'm surprised. I thought there would be more Barbie costumes. We just want to give a shout out. Detective Tom Kern comes to our school every year and speaks with our 6th grade class. Very candid talk about drugs and the effect on anyone who goes that route. Oh, I see Mrs. Becky Wayner's classroom is coming up as well. There's another Barbie. Oh, look at her being goofy. Look at her. Wait till you see her photo that I show you afterwards. It's obviously showing her students into crafts, but look at her going. She's like Pac-Man. She's being Pac-Man, I believe. Well, not Pac-Man, but the person, the thing that Pac-Man eats. That's why she's being so goofy there. I love it. She's a goofball. Wait till you see her photo, though. She had the kids hold her up. It's quite amusing. I also want to give a shout out to our local fire companies who come every year to the school during Fire Safety Week. They give programs inside the building. They also bring all of their equipment and allow the kiddos to go in and through their trucks. They put on the fire, I was going to say costumes. That's not costumes, but they put on their suits. They let the kiddos see what it would be like and what they would see in an unfortunate event if there would be a fire in their home, so that the kiddos are aware and won't be scared. We really, really appreciate all they do and how the fire companies and the police patrol on Trick or Treat Night. So thank you very much to those ladies and gentlemen. And next up is Mrs. Zaramba's 5th grade classroom. Oh, we got the dancing dinosaurs here. Love it. Oh, this is great. They're so cute. Oh, we've got chickens. We got a farm here. We've got a farm going on with the chickens and the cows. Love it. Let's take a look at Mrs. Zaramba's photo of the craft they made once they go by. And next we have Mrs. Stacy Faith's class. They are the best class, no bones about it. All right. And actually, once they go by, Mrs. Faith and her students made some trick-or-treat bags. I'd like to share that with you, as well as the photo of them and their bag. Oh, that's a pretty cool thing. Look at that. I love it. Oh, more gritty from the banana. All right, and here is a craft that Mrs. Faith's class made. Something tells me this bag will not be nearly big enough. It won't be big enough. There's no way for trick-or-treaters. No. They need something about 5 times this size. Looks like we're down to 2 classes left. We've got Mr. Lashinsky's class. And as you can see, all the others were the things that Pac-Man eat. There's probably a name for that, but I don't know what it is. And Mr. Lashinsky is Pac-Man. Oh, look at the Joker there. That's pretty cool. Oh, look at that. Yes, they're getting pictures. I love it. Yeah, Mr. Lashinsky. And Mrs. Johns. Fantastic. Ooh, look at those spooky things. My goodness. Oh, and a werewolf. Wowee. Oh, look at that cute inflatable. That skeleton is adorable. All by himself. How cute. All right, and it looks like we are down to our very last class. And that would be Mrs. Amber Roxby's class. She is new to the elementary as well. She has been a great addition to our 5th grade pod. And I'm glad she got the memo to make a banner for her classroom. This is wonderful. You know, yesterday I took a look at some of the past Halloween parades that have been posted to YouTube, and I found some astounding figures. We had, in the parade from 2016 had 41,000 views. Isn't that amazing? That is just crazy. And as we wrap things up here and show a photo of Mrs. Roxby's class and there's my niece, and the craft that they made. Oh no! Look at these bananas. That is fabulous. and another joining from the band. I love it. Oh, they look awesome. What a great way to end the parade, I must say. Whoa, and joining me right now is Mr. Chris Evans. I'm going to slide over here. Chris, if you want to slide in a little closer. Now, Mr. Evans is new. He is at least new to the elementary school. He is our new assistant principal. I had mentioned him at the beginning of the parade. Mr. Evans was a teacher at the junior senior high, and this year is his very first Halloween parade. So be honest with me, Chris. Let me know. What do you think about this whole production?
It was an amazing time. I have to say that elementary school takes the elementary parade pretty darn serious.
Yes, we do.
Had big shoes to fill.
Yes.
Mrs. Wilson and I worked for a couple days on our costumes.
Yes.
The kids all looked great. The teachers looked great. It was a really nice production. So I think everybody did a fantastic job.
And did you have fun? That's the main thing.
Amazing amount of fun.
Good.
Yes.
I'm glad. That's what it's all about. We do have an awesome time at this event every single year. And this is the first of many for you.
Yes, it will be.
I'm just so excited. Thank you so much. He is an awesome guy. We love both Mr. Evans and Mrs. Wilson at the elementary school. So we thank you, Luigi.
Thank you. I'm thankful to be here. I'm glad the weather cooperated so the parents
Yes.
got to participate as well.
Yes, and what a crowd we had today.
Yes, we did. Very
Fantastic.
good turnout. Yep.
Yes, thank you, Chris.
Yeah, thank you.
Very good. So before we wrap everything up here, I do want to, wait. I'm looking at all the mimes right there. Check it out. Check it out. We're checking out all those mimes. These are the ladies who did an awesome job without using words and directing everybody to and fro. So, and behind me, we've got the Forest Hills Marching Rangers. Wow, this is just, everything's just coming together, I'll tell you. But I do need to wrap it up, I suppose. But before that, I would like to thank just a few people for making this all possible. First of all, we would like to thank Mr. Jake Kearney for his expertise, and also Mrs. Jenna Tully for her expertise on the camera. I would like to thank Mrs. Jan Yursky for being my right-hand, I almost said man, but right-hand woman here today, for handing me all of these crafts and keeping them organized, and she's going to go back and run around like a crazy woman to deliver them before all the students have to go home today. A great big special thanks to Mr. Jay Elias, our Director of Technology and Video Production here at Forest Hills School District. He's running the board. He'll take care of all of the editing with all of the crafts and the videos and all. So much time is put into creating this wonderful production for you. A great big thank you goes to Mr. Mitch Kuster and Mr. Kearney and all the members of the Forest Hills Marching Rangers for their participation today and providing the great background music for us. And finally, on behalf of the Board of School Directors, the administration, faculty, staff, and students here at Forest Hills Elementary, we would like to thank you for being a special part of the Halloween parade today. We hope to see you again next year. Thank you for joining us on the Forest Hills School District Community Outreach Channel 182 and Forest Hills YouTube channel. This is Kim Hostetler. What is my name? My name is Mrs. Kim Hostetler, and I hope you have a wonderful, spooktacular Halloween. So long, Forest Hills.